Hey everybody, it's Gypsy Fangirl here, and I have recently written an article about all the reasons why there should be a good Harry Potter game, preferably RPG, and tried to find any reason why there wasn't, and I couldn't find one. So I felt like I should go ahead and make a YouTube video out of my article in case anybody didn't want to read it. So here it goes, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the article I wrote is titled, "Are All Video Game Execs Muggles Who Don't Want a Good Harry Potter Video Game?" It's the late 70s and it's at the height of the First Wizarding War. The Death Eaters start making their mark on the world. Muggles are disappearing left and right, and prominent wizarding families are also mysteriously vanishing or worse. Albus Dumbledore creates the Order of the Phoenix to help defend against Voldemort's attacks. Not a bad way to create a game, to have the option of which side of the morality you'll be on. Which side would you choose? Now, I'm obviously not a game developer myself, but I do feel like that's a pretty good start to a game where you have a lot of options on what you can do. Something similar to like Mass Effect or, like the new Witcher, something like that. So just a little idea I had. So it's been almost 18 years since we first saw the Philosopher's Stone hit stores over here in the US, and 10 years later and 6 titles later, Harry Potter has sold over 450 million copies and has been translated into over 73 different languages, which makes it the most popular book series ever. Now that we have the Pottermore.com on the internet, we really get to see more of what J.K. Rowling has envisioned for us, because she is constantly adding new stories, which makes it a real joy to go on there and read short stories from Professor McGonagall to the Malfoys and things like that. So it really does expand the universe in a whole new way. So I don't see why we couldn't have another expansion on that universe, especially with the new Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them coming out this next year to movie theaters. So I really think that it would all tie in really well. And then you have the fan base online that has really taken the Harry Potter world into lengths I couldn't even imagine. Like, I am actually a student at Hogwarts Online, which is super cool. I can take online classes for potions and astrology and all sorts of fun stuff. It's on a website called Hogwarts is Here. You sign up for classes, you take your required courses, and you can eventually even become your whatever you want, like your career path. So they have a digital library, auditorium, dorms you can join, where you can meet up with other Harry Potter freaks just like us, which is really, really, really cool. So let's go over real briefly what Harry Potter games have already been released in the video game world, let's say. For all 8 movies, there is a movie titled video game to match. They're ranging anywhere from on platforms from PCs to PS1s, GameCubes, Game Boy Colors, and then they even come out to newer versions like PS3, Wii, and 360, but that's of course spanning over 8 years with the consoles easily, so that's why they, have such a huge range on what consoles are available. I personally have never really gotten into them. I'm a little cautious on movie-titled video games. However, I'm not really going to say anything bad about them, because who wants to argue about playing in the video game world of Harry Potter? So it's still great games to play, but it's really not something that I'm looking for. I would really, really like an RPG action, let me create my own character type thing. So, but there are all those, so we can kind of get what we're looking for. Okay, so we're also going to talk about the motion capture games that they released. They released one for the Kinect, which was titled Harry Potter for Kinect, and it was really just a bunch of small, simple games that was tied together with a really simple storyline, and it didn't really get a lot of good reviews, just like a lot of the games for the Kinect really didn't hit off well. So I never got into that game, and I never tried it, unfortunately, but if it is good, I'm sorry if I offended anybody. And then there were 2 games that was released for the PS3 Move. They were Move exclusive titles, and they actually were very different from a lot of the video games because they have nothing to do with the WB franchise itself. They actually directly credited J.K. Rowling, and they were titled Wonder Book, Book of Spells, and this was actually based off of the book in the movies that's part of the storyline, and it was by Miranda Goshek. And then they also came came out with a second title called Wonder Book, Book of Potions, which was kind of under the same pretense, obviously. But that, I think it's really cool that they came out with some games that had nothing to do with the franchise, and it shows that it kind of can be done in a way where it's tied into the universe, but not really with WB, so it is possible. So let's talk about the best Harry Potter video games that are in existence currently right now, and those would be the Lego Harry Potter video games. I love Lego games. I will play all Lego games, but Harry Potter, of course, has something special with me. So the Lego Harry Potters years 1 through 4 and years 5 through 7 are my favorite titles, and I think they are the best Harry Potter video games that are out to date, and hopefully that will change soon because we'll get what we all wish for. Now, I know I've left out a few titles like Harry Potter's Quidditch World Cup, and I think there's a few mobile games and a few things online that you can play, but they're really not substantial RPG, let's create a character and spend hours in the Harry Potter world, so it's hard for me to really include these into the list. I was just trying to cover the bigger titles, so if I did not include one of your favorite Harry Potter video games, I'm very sorry. Just wanted to cover the basis and the... So I want to go over a minute over the franchises that are really involved with the Harry Potter name and logo and everything like that. One of the biggest names is EA. They came out with all of the video game adaptation from the movies. So they have all those basic core rights, I'm assuming. I don't know a lot and I'm not a corporate lawyer, so please correct me if I'm wrong. But with that, EA has made some of the best games ever. They have come out with the Mass Effect series, which is personally one of my favorite. The Dragon Age series is by far one of my favorites as well. They have Battlefield, and they have 1.5 million sports games out there. So they have the money, they have the potential to really create a good game, so I don't see why they haven't. Obviously, the other biggest name in the Harry Potter world is WB. They made all the movies. They're coming out with the next movie, The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So they have a huge stock into the Harry Potter name. Now, what's interesting, though, is they also have a great list of games under their WB Entertainment. They have the WB games. They came out with the Batman trilogy, Arkham Knight, one of my favorite games that came out this year. They have the Mortal Kombat X, and they have all the Lego games are WB games. So the thing is that WB has the potential to make great games. The Batman series is seriously one of my favorites. So again, there is the possibility to have a great game from the other person who has a major stock into the Harry Potter name. So if there's all this money, literally $15 billion worth of money put into these franchise and logos, then there's a million reasons why we should have a decent Harry Potter video game. So many people would play it. It's ridiculous.